In 1998, Silver Cross Hospital began periodically recognizing the accomplishments of an outstanding individual for his or her service to the healthcare profession with the Silver Cross Sehring Medal of Excellence. The medal's name honors the memory of George H. Sehring, M.D., a dedicated physician who served the community for 40 years. Past recipients include Dr. Daniel Gutierrez, Dr. Richard Terrizzo, Dr. Wiley Mullen, Dr. Samuel Goldhaber, Laura McGuire, and Dr. Bun Soo Ko. The 2005 Silver Cross Sehring Medal of Excellence recipient is Keyton Nixon. Keyton served as president and CEO of Silver Cross Hospital from 1970 to 1990. During his 20 years at the helm, both the healthcare industry as well as the Joliet community were facing some of its greatest challenges: recession, loss of jobs, poverty. Through it all, Keyton held steadfast, always exemplifying the highest ideals of statesmanship.
Keyton certainly led the hospital through some difficult times. The community faced high unemployment rates, no building going on whatever. Keyton really became involved in the community during that time, and he really was a prime mover in helping to bring things back to what they became in the early 90s and now beyond. Keyton has absolute faultless integrity. His word is his bond, and people respect him for that.
Keyton came to Silver Cross with several years of healthcare experience under his belt. Upon Keyton's arrival, he brought with him a clear vision to provide convenient, quality healthcare with a strong emphasis on illness prevention through healthcare education programs and technological advancements. During his tenure as CEO, he transformed Silver Cross, then a small community hospital, into a network of satellite facilities, bringing medicine out to the communities the hospital serves. Keyton also recognized a need for physicians on the east side, which led to the Rabbi Morris Hirschman Medical Arts Building. This building is also home to the Hoffman Cancer Center, which today offers the only cancer-fighting radiation equipment of its kind in Will, Grundy, and Kankakee counties. In 1973, with the guidance of Dr. Bun Ko, he opened 3 dialysis stations on the hospital's campus. Today, Silver Cross continues to be the largest provider of dialysis services in Will and Grundy counties, with 44 treatment stations, including a 12-station addition opening next year in the Silver Cross Renal Center on the west side of Joliet. In addition to dialysis, Keyton developed many other services, including the hospital's home health program and a paramedic training program. For more than 25 years, Silver Cross has continued to serve as the resource hospital for the Will Grundy EMS system, annually training over hundreds of paramedics and emergency personnel. In 1971, just 1 year after Keyton took over as president, Building 1 of the hospital, known today as the John and Hazel Francis Pavilion, opened on June 27th.
Keyton Nixon is a leader who came to Silver Cross, saw a situation in which the hospital had an old plant and a relatively new plant, but insufficient funds to fully develop the new plant. The situation was one of economic hardship in this area. Corporations and various companies were closing. People were looking for jobs. Keyton was a very formidable part of making decisions to move ER, help us develop our radiology department, and move the whole scheme of medicine along in this community.
Keyton had to find the capital to invest in the hospital's facilities and technology. This led to the creation of the Silver Cross Foundation, with its sole purpose was, and still is, to attract donations to sustain the operations and growth of the hospital. It was in part because of this new arm of the administration that Keyton and the rest of his team was able to begin planning a new emergency department which could care for 25,000 patients a year. The new ED opened in 1990, the summer following Keyton's retirement. Keyton jumped in with both feet, working with other local businessmen and community leaders to focus on the Will County strengths and to put into motion one of the nation's most noticeable comebacks. He knew no other way to lead than by example. He helped to start the Will Grundy Medical Clinic to provide care for the working poor. He also served as president of the Will County Center for Economic Development, on the board of directors for the Joliet Region Chamber of Commerce and Industry, University of St. Francis Special Advisory Committee, the United Way, and as president of the Boy Scouts of America Rainbow Council. For this leadership, the Boy Scouts recognized Keyton with its Silver Beaver Award, the highest award given by the Rainbow Council. And upon his retirement, Keyton was inducted into the Joliet-Will County Hall of Pride in June 1990, a fitting tribute to a momentous career and community service. Keyton was also not one to sit on the sidelines when it came to the betterment of healthcare. While at Silver Cross, Keyton was also active in the Illinois Hospital Association as vice president for the Midwest chapter of VHA, a healthcare provider alliance enabling members to reach sustainable results. Keyton also served on the board of directors for the American Cancer Society and the Federal Facilities Planning Board. He also held memberships in the American College of Healthcare Executives and the Hospital Presidents Association.
You know, when you become a top 100 hospital in the United States, you don't do it overnight. It takes decades to do this. And what Keyton was able to do was develop a base, a foundation, which support our efforts to become a top 100. And what am I talking about is really the culture here. We have a can-do attitude. Our employees put our patients first, and no matter what the problem is, we always believe there's a solution. And that kind of attitude, that kind of feeling, was started by Keyton Nixon and others. You know, that 20-year period where Keyton was the president and CEO of Silver Cross was a tough time. There were tough times financially. There were reports that sometimes the hospital didn't have enough cash to pay its bills. But the board and Keyton and his team really brought us through all that. And that really is the foundation of Silver Cross today. On behalf of the Silver Cross Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to bestow upon Keyton Nixon, my very dear friend, the 2005 Silver Cross Sehring Medal of Excellence in Healthcare. Keyton, thank you. You've earned it.